Hey you guys, welcome back to Lisa and Company. Today I am back with my friends, the Lisas of YouTube, and we are doing high-end dupes. I've been inspired by Kirkland's home decor today. So get comfy and let's get started. If you love budget-friendly DIY design and decor, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. The first piece I've been inspired by today is this beautiful home sign. Now mine will be significantly smaller, but it will also be significantly less expensive. Okay, really quick, I want to take you guys through the thought process for how I picked the background for this one. So first I want to show you this box I picked up for $5. I was just going to take the whole base and turn that into my sign. So that was one. Then I had this brand new shutter. It's actually a kitchen cabinet door I picked up at the Restore, and I mean, awesome. $5. Felt like it was a little too easy and maybe not as cheap as we could make it. So not that one. All right, then I thought if you were really trying to go for Dollar Tree, you could use these bamboo boards, because after all, you have to put louvers on them anyway, but then that would need a frame and that's getting time consuming. I had this wooden panel. I got it at a local dollar store for $2.50, and it's just the right size, but to me it needed to be bigger. Same with this one. Picked this up at a thrift store for $1, but home fits just right in here. I could put my paint sticks in the back. It's all ready for that, but it really doesn't look like the original, and I'm trying to really dupe this one. All right, I have this one from Dollarama. Nice length, but it needed to be wider this way for home to fit inside, so not that one. I had this piece of scrap wood, which yes, I could cut down. I liked everything about this one, except that I would still have to build a frame. So, working my way through my stash, and I found this from last Christmas. I paid $4 at Dollarama for it, and all I have to do is take off the little hook, move it over here. It's almost a shame that I'm covering this part with the sticks, but you know what? The size is absolutely perfect. So this is the one we're gonna go with. Let's get started. Now, although I could go ahead and use my little miter box and it makes quick work of these, I'm gonna use my miter shears because they are just too easy. It's just like the simplest cut. Let me just line it up. I make sure it's flat against the guard, and I squeeze once, release a little bit, and squeeze again. Okay, I need both hands. Look at that. How flippin' cool is that? Now, I did get my favorite guy to give me a little bit of a hand with this one, just because my thumb is still strangely sore, and after I did a couple, I kind of needed a hand. Then I did go through and sand off the rough edges, and that was just to make sure there was no loose bits and pieces sitting there and that they all fit perfectly. Now I just went through and put these in one by one and overlapping them just a tiny bit to create my faux louvers on my faux shutter. After that, I went through and I gave it a full coat of the black Dollar Tree acrylic paint, and I was really careful to make sure that I got into all the crevices and there was no wood showing. Now I want to use my antiquing wax over top, and you might ask why. Well, I find it just makes that black a little bit richer and a little bit deeper, and with acrylic paint, if you don't do something to it, it marks very easily. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put some on, and I'm just going to burnish it as I go with my brush. So it might be difficult to tell on camera, but this is where I split it right here. So can you see that this has kind of a gorgeous sheen? It's not a shine at all. It's still almost matte, But look, when I turn it, can you see the difference? This is completely flat and it marks, whereas this is not, and it won't get all those marks on it. So I've gone all the way around the outside so far, and I just have to finish the edges and the inside. All right, now I did go through quite a few different ways to take this home sign from Dollar Tree apart. I used my saw, I used my knife, I tried my heat gun, which finally loosened it up a little bit, and then I just used brute strength to kind of get it out of there. And I did get a little bit of the goop off the bottom, but I'm gonna go through with my sharp little razor blade here to get the rest of it off. Time to put this one on, and once I have figured out the perfect placement and I'm really using those louvers as a guide, I'm just going to use some of my really hot glue on the back of this and drop it into place. Just love the way this one came together, and so simple. An old frame, some stir sticks, and a home sign from Dollar Tree, and I have created a beautiful piece of home decor. Now, do you want to see how we did? Well, although my dupe is much smaller at 21 inches wide versus 44 inches wide, I think we got some pretty good savings there and came out with a pretty nice result. What do you think? Today's video is part of a playlist in collaboration with some of my favorite gals here on YouTube. This was created by Lisa Marie over Crafting My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I'm joined today by my friends Lisa Kennedy, the Dollar Mom, as well as Lisa Birmingham. So make sure you check out the playlist below, and if you're coming over from one of their channels, make sure you say hi and let me know where you came from. This project was inspired by this small, compact, but super pretty centerpiece I found at Kirkland's. I thought this would fit in so many places in my home. Alrighty, to do this one, we are using a couple of these awesome Dollar Tree signs. I think I got these ones in the summer. I love this sort of white, chippy, distressed design on them. Now I'm going to be creating that box with these, so I have measured off one square here. I'm going to cut it with my X-Acto knife, and then I'm just going to copy it, and that way I know they're the same and I can't mismeasure. Because if I continue to measure the like 5 and I don't know how many 16ths, I don't remember. I'm gonna make a mistake, or it's gonna be a little off, and I don't want it to be. I want it to be as square as possible. So I'm gonna cut this one, and continue to cut a whole bunch of them until I have 5, so I have 1 for the bottom. And I think I'm gonna keep the tops of these, and I think I'm gonna do something fun for these at Christmas. If I leave the string in and the star, and it's kind of cut off right there, I think it's gonna be super cute. Now to put this together, I have seen some DIYers just do a bead of glue down the corners, but I wanted this to be really stable, especially when I put it away off season. So I'm using some of those tumbling tower blocks to attach the sides together, as well as attach the bottom. Now a little bit more Dollar Tree foam, and then we're going to get started arranging this. I have so many pieces of Dollar Tree fall florals and picks and greenery. This is going to come together so quickly and so easily. I've got my picture off to the side, and I'm doing my best to try and use the same type of pieces and the same colors so I can stay true to the Kirkland's design. Partly because I want this to be a really great dupe, and partly because I really liked the way they did it. You guys, I love the way this came together, and can I tell you, I think it was a win the couple of years I've been hoarding Dollar Tree fall picks and greenery, because that's what made this such a success. But it's a dupe, so how did we do? Well, heck, you guys, I'm gonna call that one a win for the pocketbook as well as a win for my fall home decor. What do you think of this one? Would you recreate it? Would you do it the same way or would you do it differently? Head down to those comments and let me know. You guys, I want to take a sec and remind you to join me over on Instagram at Lisa and Company DIY. I share so much great stuff over there, hauls, family shenanigans, and my goodness, I don't even know what else. You guys, I love a big, beautiful white pumpkin, and I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could recreate this. So I grabbed a couple of balloons from Dollar Tree and some elastic bands to try to make the shape that I would start to paper mache. Now, I'm gonna warn you, one of these did not work out, and I'm not even showing you what it looked like in the end. And the other one, well, I fought through and we figured it out. To make my paper mache mixture, I used about 50-50 of white glue from the Dollar Tree as well as water. For the larger balloon, I'm using strips of craft paper. Some of them I've scrunched up a little bit, and I'm just running them through there and using my fingers and the edge of the pan to take off the extra. Now, I gotta warn you guys, this is messy. But you know what? If you're gonna do it, just embrace your inner child, think back to elementary school, and go for it. All right, I went ahead and put a second layer of the craft paper on, and it's drying really, really well, and it's getting much harder. But I really want to define those ribs on the pumpkin. I want this to look like a really organic, you know, longer on one side than the other. So I scrunched up a piece of brown craft paper, and I've taped it on. Now, it's probably hard to see. I can see where the elastic bands are here, so I'm doing those sections. So what I'm gonna do is go through and do every other section. There's 6, so I'm gonna do 3 of them right now, and then when those are on and starting to dry, now I went ahead and cut some much larger pieces so that I could get one full large piece over each one of those ribs that I was working on. And it was so messy, you guys. I can't even tell you. I'm pretty sure I had that glue mixture like up to my elbows. It was all over my work surface, but again, inner child, people, inner child. All right, we are getting there, but I still find this guy a little bit lumpy and misshapen in places, which I guess if we're being honest, pumpkins are lumpy and misshapen, but just too much stuff. So I'm gonna try a trick that I saw for the last layer, and it just seems so strange because of the texture in it, but it is paper towel, paper mache right on top. So let's give it a whirl and see how it works. Well, we've got it completely covered, so I'm gonna go put it in front of the fan and see how it dries, and hopefully that's it and we can paint it from here. Alrighty, well, I'm starting to see a pumpkin here. Yeah, we got a little bit of misshapenness here, but it's a pumpkin. And anybody who's been to a pumpkin patch knows that pumpkins are not created like they are at Michael's. So I'm gonna embrace the organic nature of my pumpkin, but I am gonna go ahead and start painting it, and no idea how many coats this is gonna take. I've definitely got to hide this sort of paper towel finish, although I will say it did do a great job really molding into the ribs and covering some of that bumpiness that was the craft paper. So let's get this baby painted. just about ready to finish this off, and looking closely at the picture, it needs some specks. So I have mixed up a little bit of my dark gray chalk paint with a little bit of water, and now we're gonna make a mess because I'm gonna do that splatter and get it all over the place. All right, I did go ahead and use a little bit of that watered down gray paint and just paint on those ribs. And I absolutely hate them, but that's okay because I knew I was gonna have to blend them. So I'm gonna chill out and I'm gonna go over them with some more of the white paint. Now I did do these darker and wider with the idea that I would be able to blend them out and shade them a little bit. So well, let's just see what happens. All right, it is working, and I am able to blend those out and kind of dry brush over top of them. And I always tell you guys, it's only paint. So I did have to tell myself that just a couple of times here. Now, once that is dry, we're gonna go ahead and take this cute little peduncle, also known as a stem, that I have from an old Dollarama pumpkin, and we are gonna pop that in there. However, it is a really yucky, plasticky brown, so I'm gonna take my gray chalk paint and I'm just gonna dab it all over. And we're gonna hit it with the heat gun and get it dry so that I can glue this down and be done with this pumpkin. I love a good twisty stem, don't you guys? And here she is, my Cinderella pumpkin, or that's what I'm calling her anyway, because I transformed her from a whole pile of nothing into kind of a cool pumpkin for my home decor. Now, I will say, you guys, this was a lot of work for the outcome, but if you're down for it and you want to have some fun, then go for it. So how did we do on this one? Well, pretty incredible savings when you consider the original price, but I don't think this one is quite as pretty as the one from Kirkland's, so maybe keep your eye open for a sale and spoil yourself this one time. I really hope you guys enjoyed these high-end dupes today, and I hope you'll go check out the rest of the playlist with my friends Lisa, and Lisa. And make sure, like I said before, if you're coming from another channel, say hello and let me know where you came from. That is a wrap on this video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it because I had so much fun making them. Don't forget to join me over on Instagram, and like always, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.